As we start, we can see the group sitting at the table and discussing project details. One of the architects has an updated diagram that he brought to the meeting to show the group. In order to make it available for later in the meeting, he places it on the table, and another group member triggers it to be scanned from the front screen.
Sorry, I'm running late.
The project owner now arrives at the meeting. He brings with him material stored on his laptop, so he plugs it into a video cable and uses a controller application running on his laptop to switch the display to the leftmost screen.
My laptop up there, and I've got a schedule here.
Now that his laptop is displaying in the room, he clicks on a predefined link he has made and triggers the display of his content on two other displays in the room. A 3D model of the construction site appears on the middle screen, and a top-down map of the site appears on the table.
I wanted to check on a couple things. One is how we're doing on the orange. Let me move it back first to...
Now, using the single mouse that is used for all displays in the workspace, the owner adjusts the 3D model to show the construction site view for today's date. He then moves down to control the table, where by clicking on various points on the map, he is able to trigger changes to different views of the construction site in the 3D model viewer.
Yeah, there's going to be some delays in the electrical work, in both the orange and the Ferris wheel, actually.
The Ferris wheel, too?
As the discussion proceeds, they select yet another view.
Construction schedule is still going to be affected, though?
I believe so.
Okay.
Why don't you go ahead and bring up the schedule? I think Smartboard 3 is...
During discussion, they find a need for looking at the current project schedule. The owner has an updated version on his laptop and decides to move it to the rightmost screen, which is still free. He is able to trigger the movement of the schedule to the screen from his laptop.
Basically, on both these rides, electrical work was slated for the month of November, and because of the newly anticipated rain for the first 2 to 3 weeks, we think we're going to have to delay that work.
Right.
Well, why don't we just swap the plumbing and electricity, and then that way...
The owner has received a phone call and needs to depart the meeting quickly. Since he is in a hurry, he just disconnects the laptop, and the left screen now has no signal. Using his wireless Palm Pilot, one of the group members then triggers the screen to restore its normal display. They want to look in more detail at how their schedule has been affected, so the contractor at the right screen uses a controller to trigger another 3D model viewer on the left screen.
So I think, why don't we go back to the orange first of all.
They now have one model viewer showing the projected final state of the construction site, and the original model viewer showing the current status. Now the group is able to use the same top-down map of the construction site on the table to trigger view updates in both model viewers.
It's a little bit better, but we still have to deal with the electricity and the plumbing. Alright, that's a pretty good summary of that. Why don't we move to the administration building?
Right.
They decide to return to the diagram scanned at the beginning of the meeting, so the architect drags an older revision of the diagram to the front screen. The front screen is an exotic, high-resolution tile display with a custom whiteboard application, but is nonetheless able to integrate with the standard consumer devices in the workspace. Using the display, the architect is able to highlight the changes that have been made between the two different plans.
This shaded area here, the shaded space has gone down a lot compared to this, which means a lot of progress has been made in the drawings for the workspaces and the interior.
That's great. So I think that's all we wanted to cover today. Why don't we just go ahead and wrap up, and I'll start off with Kim now.
Finally, they decide to wrap up the meeting. While the workspace is controllable from devices within it, they instead turn off the lights and projectors using a permanent control panel located at the exit of the room.